Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is your
say the magic word.
Photo News Fix. This fix is brought to you by Allform and their easy-to-assemble, American-made modular sofas that are scratch and stain resistant and comfortable. Whether you want a single armchair or a 225-inch long 8-seat sectional, Allform has you covered. In fact, remember a few weeks ago when Steven got his new Helix mattress? Well, Allform is a sister brand of Helix, and this week, Steven got his new whiskey leather 3-seat sofa and chaise lounge to finally fill his empty sitting room. The good news is shipping was fast and free right to his door, and it only took 15 minutes to set up. And guess what? You get to try it out for 100 days. And if you don't want leather, no problem. There's plenty of different fabrics and colors to choose from. It's easy to personalize your sofa to your space and style by creating over 500 plus unique combinations. Steven was able to take an empty room and instantly spice it up. Whether he wants to unwind after a hard day of editing or talking to me on the phone, take a quick nap, give Chip a new place to sleep, or even at a matching armchair later, Allform has him covered once again. To check out Allform and to get 20% off, head on over to allform.com/fro. First up, we've got a big one for you, and I mean big. DJI has joined, and by I mean has joined the
L-Mount Alliance.
For those of you who don't remember, the L-Mount Alliance,
An alliance?
consists of Leica, Cine, Panasonic, and Sigma, and now DJI. The goal of this alliance
Coalition.
is to have one unified lens mount standard, aka one ring to rule them all.
In the darkness, fight.
Now, while the L-Mount Alliance is not an open alliance where anyone can join, for example, Pentax, they do allow other members if they meet certain conditions.
You're too old, fat man.
And it looks like DJI has passed the test. Their first move was to announce a Zenmuse X9 L-Mount interchangeable lens plate, which, get this, allows users to attach L-Mount lenses to the Ronin 4D. Do I think the L-Mount will be expanding anytime soon?
No.
Do I know anyone who owns an L-Mount lens?
No.
Will I say L-Mount Alliance one more time before I go?
We have to. Yep.
L-Mount Alliance.
Next up, Sony has dropped some new firmware for both the A1 as well as the A7S III. Now, starting with the A7S III, the update includes proxy recording during remote computer connect as well as improvements to IAF performance. And that's it. For real, that's the A7S III update. I mean, I guess one way to look at it is it might be that it was already that good out of the box and they didn't really need to update it much. Or you could be a pessimist and be like, you suck! Moving on to the A1 firmware, the 8K video recording gets a bump with the addition of 8K 422 10-bit, which Sony says lets filmmakers and content creators realize their creative vision with incredible realism and color. And I say,
nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know. How would they know?
But the big update with this firmware on the photo side is the addition of lossless compressed RAW files. Now, the A1 already has lossless compressed large, which took your file from 100 megs uncompressed to right around 50 megs when compressed. Now you have the addition of small and medium compressed RAW files. The small file is roughly 12 megapixels and the medium is 21 megapixels. Personally, give me all the data. I want all that data in and around my mouth, like in and around my... In and around. You can always dumb down files, but you can't dumb them up unless...
A lobotomy and some tight.
What I think is going on here is that Sony might be preparing a future A1 firmware that will add the ability to shoot faster than 30 frames per second in compressed RAW. For example, the Nikon Z9 lets you shoot at 120 frames per second, but in a super tiny JPEG file. What if the Sony A1 shot 120 frames per second with compressed small RAWs, or 50 to 60 frames per second with medium compressed RAWs. Now give me raw or give me death. Oh, that sounds like a t-shirt. Hashtag trademark me 2020. Beat you to it. And finally, Nikon has stepped up to the plate with the announcement of the 400mm 4.5 Super Telephoto lens. This is going to be a killer lens. And even though I can't tell you all the specs just yet, it's gonna be affordable. Now, I was lucky enough to be one of the people that got hands-on with this lens before it was announced, and I have to say that they truly hit it out of the park with this one.
It's a threat and a pun.
I was skeptical at first on why someone would want the fixed 400 versus the versatility of the 100 to 400Z, but once I used it and saw the results, I knew exactly why. But more on that in just a second. First, some basic specs, and I mean basic since Nikon won't let us spill all the beans just yet. It's not a PF lens. You know how I know that? Because it doesn't say it on the barrel of the lens. It has VR, it's got a 95mm filter thread, and of course, a Z mount. But who cares about all the specs when all that really matters are the real world results? Now, I took this lens out to the Phillies game and loved how compact and quick focusing it was. You do not need to use a monopod with this lens unless your arms look like this, you know, in which case you might need some help. Now, I can't tell you the exact weight just yet, but it not only feels lighter than the 100 to 400, it also feels a heck of a lot more balanced. In terms of length, I measured it and it's just over 9 inches long. Now, I've never personally felt 9 inches in my hands.
Right.
But like I said, the 400 4.5 felt even and balanced while shooting. Now, my biggest question when testing this lens out was if there's a noticeable difference between 2.8 and 4.5. And when you put them side by side, you can certainly see a difference, but I think the 4.5 more than holds its weight, especially when you look at the difference in price, which once again, I'm not allowed to share with you just yet. What I will say is it's going to be significantly less expensive than the $14,000 400 2.8 TC. At the price it's going to be, I think Nikon is going to sell a ton of these lenses. Nikon absolutely hit it out of the park with this lens.
You said that already.
The truth of the matter is the majority of photographers out there will never be able to drop $14,000 on a 2.8. And the fairly similar background blur and huge difference in price makes this an enticing lens. It would definitely be a lens that I would own if Sony or Canon ever decided to make something similar.
You fanboy!
Or maybe I'll just buy this one and use it on the Z9 from time to time. Now, there you have it. That's your photo news fix this time around. To check out the last fix, go ahead and click on the screen right here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And that's where I'll leave it. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.